Welcome everybody to Strangest Species, Season 2, episode. Happy Mother's Day edition.
Ooh, happy Mother's Day edition.
That's right. We are filming. Well, no film involved or recording of video, but we are recording
Audio.
on Mother's Day.
What a joy.
What a joy.
What a joy.
So, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there.
All the mother figures of all kinds.
All the ladies in the world.
All the ladies.
That makes me think of that song.
I know. By
Flight the Conchords.
yes. I was thinking the same thing.
Sexy lady man ladies.
Yes. So the Flight of the Conchords is just a whole special element.
With all their sexy lady bits and man bits too.
Okay. Even you might be into you.
There
Okay.
you go. You got it.
So, for anyone who doesn't know who Flight of the Conchords is, they're super strange.
It's a shame for you.
But I strongly suggest you go and learn who they are. Because your life will be forever different.
This is true.
I don't know if it's a good way or a bad way, but
Probably
it'll be
not a good way.
forever different.
Yeah, one of them, Jermaine, he's Tamatoa from in Moana. He's the big crab.
Oh, that's right. He's also...
He's in a lot of things.
Yeah, I feel like he's also in a lot of things. But anyway.
Brett is not in as many things.
No, he's
They're from
not.
Australia. They sing folksy.
Which, if
stupid
you just
songs.
say they're from Australia, pretty much
Well,
explains...
actually, they might be from New Zealand, actually.
Oh, well, then
Take that
maybe
back.
it doesn't explain quite as much, but
Could be from New Zealand.
gotcha.
Either way.
Either way.
Welcome, everybody,
Yeah.
to another riveting episode
Of
Strange Species.
Strangest Species.
I think we should talk like we are on NPR for the whole episode.
I don't think I'd be very good at that because I don't really listen to NPR, so I don't really know what they sound like.
Okay, well, then we won't.
Okay.
You had a couple days off back in your home native land.
I did at Wassa Lake. It was
With
so
no children?
great. No
Or
children.
husbands?
Nope, or husbands. Ladies' weekend. We had such a good time. Such good food. Good conversation. 6.5 kilometer hike around the lake. Pickleball. It was great. Good weather. Like even got to suntan.
Which is pretty crazy for Canada.
Big, gorgeous, beautiful home. Like just unbelievable.
How many square feet do you think?
Oh,
Like-
8,000?
But it was bigger than that.
Probably bigger. It sleeps 32 people, but you could sleep 100. But I mean, it's just gorgeous. Unbelievable. It was super fun. Really, really good food. Like a really good menu. Got to paint. Had a painting class by
You're really good, too. I was
by
impressed.
a professional painter.
You painted strawberries.
I did a good job,
And they
man.
were really good.
Yeah.
I almost ate them.
They do look real. I mean,
I was impressed, honestly.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was here with the kiddos, and I was off on Friday, and they all went to school, and I
You did a 35 mile?
30
30.
30-mile bike ride.
Poof.
It was
That's-
awesome.
It's a long way.
Yeah, I've been getting into biking lately. It's been a lot of fun.
Sore
It
butt.
doesn't kill me. It's not so sore anymore.
You got the pads.
I do have pads, but I also have toughened it up.
Got the calluses.
Yeah, got the butt calluses now.
Perfect.
No, yeah, I felt totally fine in that department. At
Well, good.
30 miles.
With the cushions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did some intermittent, like standing up on my bike to the circulation go, to flow and stuff, like on,
Yeah.
when I come down a big hill and just was
Kinda
coasting for a
coasting,
while.
yeah.
I just stand up and
Nice. Let the flow.
get the flow going.
Sounds awesome, honey.
It was.
I'm excited to go with you
You're
tomorrow.
going to go tomorrow. Ethney got a new bike for
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Yeah. It's going to be
How far do you want to go?
Let's play it by ear.
I'm thinking like 12-ish.
Yeah.
It's surprising how fast. You're like 12 miles. Holy crap. If you're running 12 miles, holy crap's correct. Biking 12 miles would be pretty easy.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's
Like,
true.
it's not. It goes like you look at your watch, like, oh my goodness, started 4 miles. Like, I feel like I just started.
Well, cool.
Yeah, so it's good. It was funny. I was feeling great. I got to a point. I actually turned around more because I came to a really busy street. I was like, oh, I don't want to deal with trying to cross the street. I was like, so that was a good time to turn around. And so it was about 15 miles out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was feeling great. Like, I felt like I could have kept going forever. I'm glad I did, though, because about the last 2 miles, and maybe it was because I was getting close to home, my body knew I was getting close to home, but my quads were getting very,
Angry.
very angry. So I'm glad I wasn't another 10 miles out.
Yeah.
But I've only had the bike for like 3 weeks, so I feel like I'm good.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah, working it up.
Working it up.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you think we're talking about today?
We are going to talk about the Pickle Sisters.
The Pickle Sisters? Who are the Pickle Sisters?
They're a vaudeville act from the 1920s. They literally wore like 20s pickle costumes.
Why don't you do the episode this week?
I don't know. I just feel like it's right.
I mean, that sounds great. I don't know who these sisters are, though.
I don't either.
Oh, you made it up?
No, I think they're real.
Where'd you find out about the Pickle Sisters?
Oh,
Did you do on your girls' weekend?
yeah. We talk about weird vaudeville acts.
So Ed Wynn's one of my favorite actors of all time.
Okay.
He started as a vaudeville act.
Yeah. So there you go.
He's the voice of, we've probably talked about him before on here, but he's the voice of the Mad Hatter in Disney's Alice in Wonderland.
Isn't he also the guy in Mary Poppins?
Mm-hmm. The I Love to Laugh guy.
And also in the
Babes in Toyland. He's the toy maker. And his voice is so iconic.
Oh my.
It's like a hurricane of sneezes in here.
I was trying so hard to hold them in.
You failed.
There's no way.
That was a failure.
That's a failure.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Just let it out. Oh, Ethney's showing me a picture of the Pickle Sisters. Margaret, Mavis, Opal, and Florence. Those are good 20s names. But their stage names, Dilly, Kosher, Gherkin, and Cornichon. There you go.
I feel like we really need to do an episode on them.
Yeah. They look like pickles.
It's like a 20s flapper dress that's a
with
green with
pickle head.
and a pickled dunce cap. I mean, they're
Dude,
amazing.
Those look like airhead or cone heads.
Yeah,
that movie.
Anyway,
But in pickle form.
they're real.
Okay, well, that's about as much airtime as they're going to get today. That's not what we're going to talk about.
I just felt like it was right.
But that looks like something. I wonder what their act was.
I don't know. Singing, probably?
Which pickle would you want to be?
I mean, gherkin?
Gherkin?
Yeah. Don't you know a gherkin?
Yeah, I do.
Like, or maiden name or married name is gherkin or something? Yeah.
Yeah, Brie.
Is it spelled the same way as the pickle
have no
gherkin?
idea.
I have no idea.
I don't know how to spell the pickle gherkin, I don't think. Sounds like that'd have a silent H in it.
Gherkin?
Yeah.
It probably does.
Dill, gherkin,
Cornichon.
and what else?
I don't know what you said.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I'd want to be bread and butter.
No, bread and butter's not a real pickle.
What do you mean it's not a real
Kosher.
pickle? Kosher. Well, that's not
It's
even a...
dilly. Well, because I think they're kosher.
Right, but I feel like
It's not a... Yeah,
you could have multiple of those could be kosher.
Sure. Dilly, kosher, gherkin does have the silent H, and cornichon.
It's not.
I think one should be baby. Like a baby dill.
pickle.
Well, because baby dills are like kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Are a big dill.
So good. I still think I want to be bread and butter.
Bread and butter.
Yeah.
Bread and butter is not a pickle.
What do you mean it's not a pickle?
They're sweet. It's not right. They're just not right.
But
I mean, it is a
pickle.
pickle. Okay, but
Just 'cause you don't like it. Jeez. Well, discrimination over here. So actually, that's funny. You know how like your taste change? I didn't like bread and butter pickles my whole life until like 3 years ago. And I
Well,
was
the
like,
spicy-
oh, these are really good.
the spicy bread and butter are better.
I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I was just like, oh, wait, these don't suck.
Well,
Like fruitcake still sucks.
yeah, it's true.
But like, I didn't like avocados as a little person. Now I love avocados.
Avocados are good.
What else did I like? I don't know. There's other stuff that I just wasn't into. And then one day I was like, oh, like blue cheese.
Mangoes.
Didn't like blue cheese at all. Now I love blue cheese.
Mangoes.
Yeah, I'm still indifferent on mangoes.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I like mangoes.
All right. I didn't like pears as a kid.
They're delicious.
I like juicy pear jelly bellies.
It's almost the
kind
same.
of like I like
Yeah,
pears
it's
now.
almost the same. Okay, we're so off tangent.
Maybe. You don't know.
Okay, well, let's get to our story. How about
Okay.
that?
All right. Question for you. Have you ever found anything cool while just being out and about?
Yeah, I feel like I have. Can I put my finger on it? Sorry, that's me
Yeah.
doing my tap as I'm thinking. I don't know. I feel like I have, but I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. But I feel like that is a feeling I've had.
I feel like we've talked about this before, but there was that one time we went with the kids exploring down the abandoned railroad tracks. And we found this whole abandoned house.
I do remember that.
That was super cool
Yeah.
for me, like, because I like that junk.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I actually found in the woods in like this hermit shack once, camping out in the woods, which I also thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But there was no hermit.
No.
It's okay if you can't think of anything.
Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but
One time I found a buried treasure.
yeah.
Yeah. Had a bunch of pirate booty.
One time I found a lot of really cool vintage things in the basement of your grandfather's house. I lived really, really far away, and I really wanted to keep a lot of those things, but
That'd be stealing. 'Cause they were
no.
his.
No, he was dead.
Oh, then.
And your parents wouldn't really store much for me.
No, my parents are not into stuff.
They were like, I just want to take it all to Goodwill. I'm like, oh my gosh. No, you can't. Literally everything in here is vintage, and it's like mint condition.
Did you
You
ever get that stuff from my mom?
cannot.
Like her old Tupperware?
I did.
Good.
And Corningware.
Corningware?
Yeah. Like, you cannot. And Pyrex. I did. But I'm like, you cannot just get rid of this stuff at Goodwill. You don't understand. This is like every vintage store's dream. And if only I lived closer.
And my dad's like, you know what the problem is I can't fit it all in one truckload.
Yeah. He's like,
I can't get rid of this fast enough.
yeah. And I was like, no, you don't understand. That was heart-wrenching. But I did get a
Across the
few
country.
awesome, like mint condition vintage things, which I
I still have
still cherish.
that chair at my desk.
Mm-hmm. But like the old school cocoa tin,
Mm-hmm.
like,
We have an old Band-Aid tin that you love.
oh yeah,
Old
love it.
cocoa tin.
Yeah. Anyway, I would have kept so much more if we lived closer. So I found a treasure, but I lost it.
There you go.
It's like, anyway.
Well, today we're going way back in time in our time machine to December 26th, 2020.
That is not that far back. I feel like I was alive then.
You were.
Yeah,
You were. But were you living? That's the question.
I really was living.
Well, I mean, it's 2020, so
Yeah.
were you living?
No, I was living.
Okay.
I mean, I was living in COVID times.
Right.
Yeah, but I was living.
I don't know if that's living.
I mean, I was wiping my bum with leaves because there was no toilet paper.
Yes. The great toilet paper run of 2020. Someday there'll be a Christmas movie about it. Kinda like It's a Wonderful Life.
Probably so.
But instead of a run on the bank, it'll be a run on toilet paper.
Yep.
The hardships that we had to overcome.
Yep.
So there's a guy, middle-aged man, living in one of my favorite counties in all of America, Yavapai.
Oh.
It's just fun to say.
Oh, I was going to say Cuyahoga?
Cuyahoga is a good one.
Yeah. Spelt kind of weird. And
Super weird. We used to live in Cuyahoga County. We've never lived in Yavapai. That's in Arizona.
it sounds like it should be in Arizona or New Mexico or something.
And so it's about 20 miles south of Prescott, Arizona.
I've never been to Arizona.
You've never been to Arizona ever?
I don't think so.
We should go.
I would love to go.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Except for when it's really hot.
Well, sure. I wouldn't want to live there. I would
But
just
in
want
the wintertime?
right. I would just want to visit.
The cool thing about Arizona is life is, we've talked about this before, like it's so much of life is centered around being outside.
Of our lives,
No,
or
no, down there.
Oh,
Which I
down
just
there.
love. Like you got out to a restaurant, and there's like as much outside seating as inside seating.
Oh, because of
obviously not in the
weather.
summertime, but yeah, it's just so nice.
Yeah.
So nice.
So nice.
So, this fine gentleman needed to go and chop some firewood. And so he was just going to go out to, BLM land or wherever and find some old dead trees. And
Are you allowed to do that?
I think so. Like, you can go chop down, a Christmas tree.
Like on BLM land?
Yeah, like Robin and Brad do it all the time. That's where they get theirs from.
Huh. I mean, I guess.
I don't know officially what land it is, but there is federal land or state land or whatever.
They just say, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so he hopped in his truck early in the morning. Air was cool. I'm sure he was listening to country music.
Oh, I don't know.
He was listening to country music.
I don't think so. Folk. He was listening to folk.
Old folk or new folk?
Old folk.
Okay. So he's listening to some John Denver.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
And he's bouncing along, and progressively his road got more and more dirty.
More and more bouncy.
Not really dirty, but like more made of dirt.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And eventually he comes to a small grove of dead trees where it looks promising. Chop these down, throw them in the back of the truck, and take them home. So he backs his truck up into this deep brush, gets out, heads towards the first tree. But that's when he notices something in the tall grass at his feet.
Tall grass's feet?
At his feet. There's tall grass around him.
Okay, he's not noticing feet.
No, he's noticing something at his feet.
Okay.
In the tall grass.
Well, that would be terrifying if all of a sudden you see
away
feet.
From him by his feet.
Gotcha.
So what do you think he saw?
Maybe something shimmery.
Ooh. Like a treasure?
I don't know. Like
a mermaid.
That's not what I was thinking at all. But I meant more like if it's going to catch your eye, you would assume it'd be, because, the grass I would assume would be pretty tall. It would have to be something that would catch your eye. So something shimmery. But I have no idea.
I'm glad you didn't think mermaid.
It for surely didn't.
Ocean out there.
Yeah, I mean, I know that. And even then, mermaids are not real.
But they could be shimmery. I've seen Hook. They're kind of shimmery and Hook.
But they're not real, so you can't.
So you say.
Okay. Kind of like a Sasquatch.
Well, not like a Sasquatch, because Sasquatch are real.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a podcast.
We're on one right now.
Called Sasquatch Encounters.
Yeah, you asked me about that.
Yeah. Have you heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So anyway, this family is on a road trip. We're totally on a sidetrack here, but
that's okay.
On a road trip
I got nothing else going on.
to St. George from Calgary.
To St. George from Calgary?
Yeah.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, the 16-year-old daughter is like, Mom, I just saw a Sasquatch. The parents are like, what? I just saw a Sasquatch. She's very startled, very convicted of her Sasquatch. And so I think her parents are trying not to laugh at her because she is like very serious.
Do you know where they were?
Yes, they were in Idaho.
In Idaho.
And her parents are like, so like, what color was this Sasquatch? And like, where was it? So she describes it was over by a tree, and she described the color as a chicken nugget.
That could be
chicken nugget color.
I love that a teenager uses fast food as a reference.
So her parents are dying. They're, again, trying to be really not laughing at her. So the mom starts Googling, like, Idaho Sasquatches. And literally the color that comes up in these images is like a chicken nugget color. So now her parents are like, I mean, maybe she did see one.
Yeah.
So
my first question would be, are you sure it's not like a chicken strip color?
Oh, it could be a chicken. I mean, same color, right? Chicken nugget, chicken strip.
Well, but then I would dive. I mean, are we talking like a McDonald's chicken nugget or like a Burger King chicken nugget?
This is too deep. Too deep.
Or maybe like a Chick-fil-A. They're a lot lighter in color. It's an important distinction.
Either way, she was very rattled. And chicken nugget is a good color to describe them because you can find chicken nugget colored. And whether it's the McDonald's chicken nugget or the Burger King, I don't know. But a general chicken nugget color.
Valid point. They're all in the same vein of color.
But in
right?
my mind, I felt like they were all like a dark brown or almost like maybe even a black. I never really thought of chicken nugget color.
You don't think they're real, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, they aren't.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
I
Okay.
think there's a bipedal hominid out there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Anyway, like we are so off track. Okay, so he finds something at his feet that aren't feet. And I'm guessing it's maybe shimmery or like shiny.
So it's not feet, but he does double take because it's actually a severed human arm.
Really?
Yeah. So you almost had it.
I did almost have it.
By my mumbling, you almost got the answer right.
But how does he know it's a severed arm?
Well, because it's not hooked to a body. So by definition, it has to be
But
severed.
he can see like the whole, like...
Yeah, it's just lying. There's not the rest of the body attached to it.
Oh, okay. This is... right there, I am like, I'm out of here. See you later.
Well, that's what he was like, too.
Yeah.
So he hops in his truck.
Yeah.
And he takes off. And he's thinking, I'm going to call the cops.
Yeah.
Because generally, not good when you find severed body parts.
Yeah.
And so, but as he's driving, he's like, well, maybe, was it really an arm? I mean, the grass was tall. Maybe it wasn't an arm. Maybe I thought it was an arm.
This is like my neighbor who thought she saw a badger.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
he turns around.
He doesn't turn around. He does something even smarter. He goes home and gets his wife.
Is that smarter?
He says, hey, I think I saw something. I want you to come check this out.
Why doesn't he just call the police?
Because what if it's like a log?
I guess that's true. That's embarrassing.
And they drive all the way out there, and the sheriff's like, oh, no, that's a stick, dude.
Okay, so he takes his wife
So he takes his wife back.
I don't think if I was your wife and you came back and you wanted me to see an arm, I would go with you.
If it was me, I wouldn't tell you it was an arm.
Yeah.
I would tell you, hey, I found something really cool. I need you to come see.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't say it was cool.
You would just find someone who would be willing, like...
I'd call Jared.
Or Derek.
Yeah.
Derek's all about weird body part stuff.
That's true. He's always got... Yeah, Derek would be a good one for this.
Yeah, Derek would be a good one
He'd
for
take
this.
pictures and he'd show everybody.
Yeah. Well, he needs his x-ray machine.
Yeah.
Okay. So he gets his wife. His wife is willing to come back with him.
Yeah, I don't know if he told her or not why she was coming back.
Okay.
But they go back out there. And, sure enough, it's an arm. She agrees. That's not a stick. That's an arm.
So, yeah, you call the police.
So they do call the police. And, before lunchtime, they're driving back out there for the third time with a couple of Yavapai sheriff deputies.
Okay.
To show them their discovery. So once the deputies get there, the couple shows them, hey, this is where we found the arm. We didn't touch it. It's still there, actually. Here it is.
Yeah, I don't know why you would be touching it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so the police tape it off. Not the arm, but the
space.
Scene. Yep.
The area.
Call up the crime scene investigators and say, hey, we've got... I mean, they don't know what they've got.
Well, they know
Other
they
than
have an arm. Yeah.
Right. But they don't know if they've got a murder. They don't know if they've got, what they have. So the cops are very... I actually watched all of this via... This is actually the first story that I got where I didn't read or hear the story. I actually watched all the body cam footage of this.
Oh, wow.
From the cops.
That's...
And then wrote the script off of that.
Traumatizing.
Yeah. So it's actually fascinating because the cops get there and they're very cautious not to...
Contaminate or touch. Mm-hmm.
Like they want to investigate and poke around, but they also don't want to
mess
really
with anything.
Get too close to anything until the crime scene get out there, right?
Yeah.
Or the crime scene investigators. But they did notice something interesting because they tape off the area. They're kind of looking around and they notice something bizarre about the arm. It seems like it has almost like toilet paper wrapped on it or around
like
it.
at the severing spot?
No, kind of everywhere, but not everywhere. Like you couldn't really tell if it was trying to be wrapped or if it just had some in like around the severed part, but it had been moved some, Like, they couldn't quite tell.
Weird.
They were just like, wow, that's so bizarre that it'd be like toilet paper on a severed arm out in the desert. So the cops take a witness statement from this couple.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what you're doing, how you found it, blah, blah, blah. So they tell the cops another interesting fact. They say, hey, we're the guys, like, I came out here this morning, and there was actually another car out here.
Mm.
And there was a guy, but when he noticed me, he seemed to leave, like he didn't want to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, maybe, I don't know, And if you ever go to these places, a lot of this BLM, and there's people everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, I'm in the middle of nowhere. You're never in the middle of nowhere.
No, because I think a lot of other people
Wanna
have
be
the
in
same
middle of
idea.
nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be in the middle of nowhere if you really want to, like, be in the middle of nowhere, but you got to hike out there. If there's a road, you're not usually alone for very long.
True.
And so they're like, okay, so there's a guy, we got a severed arm. The sheriffs first started thinking, like, well, maybe it was like a camper that got attacked by a bear or a mountain lion
Or something.
But then they're like, well, why would the bear leave one arm?
I mean, the whole thing is kind of weird. Yep.
And it didn't look like it had been torn off.
Weird. Weird.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Straight up weird.
That's why we're talking about it. So they were just really kind of confused. But then they're kind of investigating more, and they're looking closer, and this toilet paper, again, they're not touching it, right? Like, they're just kind of examining it from afar. It looked almost more like a dryer sheet in consistency. Like, it was heavier duty
Than just toilet paper.
Yeah, it was more heavy duty. But at the same time, it was foreign to them. They couldn't tell what this
Material
paper
was. Interesting.
It's almost like a dryer sheet, but if it was in like a big roll. And someone had cut off, a piece and kind of wrapped it in that some. So, very confused. The crime scene comes out. The investigators, they investigate more. And nearby, they find a severed human leg. So you would have been really right had you found that one first.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, good for you.
Yeah, good for me.
So now they're definitely like, okay, we got a mystery in the desert.
Yeah, we do.
We got an arm. We got
I mean,
a leg.
you can still have a living person with a missing leg and a missing arm, but it's getting less.
I've seen some of these people.
Less probable that you're not going to find a whole body somewhere.
Or you might find a whole body, but not a live person to go with said body.
Sure, that's what yes.
And so they keep searching. By the end of the day, guess what all they find?
All the pieces of the parts?
Well, they find 9 severed legs. So probably not one person.
I would hope not.
Or that would be a very interesting person and very well worth talking about on the podcast.
Yes, a 9-legged person.
Yes.
Okay, this is disturbing.
So they found 9 legs, a few arms. I don't know how many exactly, but more than 2 or 3.
Okay.
Some hips. Which is an interesting body part to be separated.
Yeah.
And some elbows.
Are you being serious right now?
I'm being serious.
Okay, I thought you were just like joking right now.
No.
Legs, arms, hips, and elbows?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's about what the cops were like, too. Like what in the world is going on out here?
Yeah, that is weird.
Why do we have all these random body parts?
Do they have a lot of missing people going on?
Well, that's what these are the things that they're starting to think about, right?
Yeah,
Like, do we have a serial killer?
Yeah.
And this is their dumping ground?
Yeah.
That's obviously my first thought when listening to the story. Like, okay, that's bizarre.
Terrifying.
Somebody likes to. I mean, no matter what the reason, if you're dumping human limbs in the desert, something's probably gone awry.
I would assume so. Yeah, that's a pretty safe assumption. Normal situation.
Normal everyday situation where it would be appropriate to dump severed limbs in the desert.
No, probably never. I would assume not.
But I don't know all the scenarios in the world. So,
right. It's true.
Who knows?
Maybe it's like a medical office, like an amputee medical office where they just decide instead of, I don't know, probably burning the amputee. But even then,
burning them would be so much easier.
Sure.
Than driving them out.
Sure.
And just dumping them off in the desert.
Maybe they didn't want to pay the cremation fee.
The incineration fee.
Yeah.
It's possible. I don't know what those run these days.
I don't know. There's literally no good reason.
Speaking
No logical reason.
So we have a crematory place in our office building, but just the office. Like they don't have the crematory there.
Right.
And on the other side of our office, we have a funeral home.
Yeah.
So my office is in a big 9-story building.
Do they work hand in hand?
I don't know. So we're right in between these two, harbingers of death. But the funeral home, I swear there's like apartments in it and stuff. Like it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Have you ever noticed?
There's people going
There's like hammocks hanging off up in the back, like up on the roof in the back. Like on the front's all it's like a mullet.
Oh.
Like the front's all
It's like
business.
business in the front and party in the back.
Total party in the back, man.
I've never noticed.
Oh, you should pay attention. There's like always a million cars back there, and I swear they have like little like rental suites back there where people live.
Weird. That would be so weird.
And I never see anyone out front. Like
I see people going in and out of it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever see any cars like on the business.
Oh, I don't
side.
ever really see cars on that side, but I see people.
Oh, I see people going in and all that. I don't ever see people I feel like are using the funeral home services.
Oh, it's a front.
It's a front
for apartments.
I have no idea what.
Apartments with hammocks. Okay, we are so off topic today.
What you would choose to.
I just said it. I know it. Apartments with hammocks.
But that's not illegal. You could just do that.
Well, maybe if it's zoned for business, you can't.
That's true.
Right? So
I wonder if all of the beds are coffins inside.
Okay, focus. Okay, so 9 legs. We just got to get back on track here.
Some
9
arms,
legs.
some hips, and some elbows.
Yes.
But interesting, all the parts were wrapped in this white, blue dryer
Stuff.
sheet paper.
Weird. Okay.
So they sent them all to the medical examiner.
Of course.
Like, hey,
Yes.
figure
Let's
this out
figure
for
this
us.
out, right?
and they're like, hey, okay, on Monday, we'll get to this. We'll have the medical examiner work on
On Monday?
Yeah. When they get back in the office, they can tell us.
I
what's
kind of feel
happening.
like this is more of an emergent situation.
Well, I mean, these arms aren't going back on anybody.
No, but okay. Okay. It's not my thought, but anyway.
So, the next morning comes, as it always does. They get a call, the sheriff's office, 50 miles away. 2 hunters claim they have found what they believe are human body parts.
Oh my gosh.
So the cops, sheriffs, send a deputy out there.
So
super
50
fast.
miles away from where the sheriff's office is, or 50 miles away
Where they
from where
found-
they found the other ones?
Right.
Oh, that's
From
pretty far.
The first cache of body parts.
That's pretty far.
It is pretty far.
Okay.
So they get out there. Hunters show them, like, hey, kind of off the beaten path a little bit here. We were setting up, and we found these. And guess what they are?
Legs, hips, elbows, and arms.
Close. 2 severed human heads.
Oh, so they've separated them.
They've separated them.
Oh, only heads though.
Only heads.
I love the hunters are like, we believe we found some body parts. We're not sure, but we believe.
Honestly, though, I don't blame them. Like, if I came across
a
a
head.
head,
I would freak out.
definitely not enjoy that experience.
Oh,
I'd call the cops. But it would be so bizarre and surreal. Like, maybe it's like a movie prop someone left out here or something, I don't know.
I would lose my mind.
Well, so did the head that was sitting there.
Okay.
So now the cops are really thinking, okay, what's happening? Do we have a serial killer? Do we have a
Cannibal.
Sure. Do we have a rogue mountain lion that's gone insane and is really aggressive all of a sudden, and is tearing people apart? But again, it's like, do we have missing people that match?
Well, and also the wrapped up part is weird.
That's true. Mountain lions generally don't wrap that up.
I would guess.
Good point.
Good point. Okay.
So what are your thoughts? Like, what's happening?
I mean, I have so many thoughts.
Tell me some of them.
I think I've already expressed that there's something weird going on with another human doing bad things.
That's usually the answer,
Yeah.
right? So once all these pile of limbs make it back to the medical examiner, there was one important clue that linked them all together. And it's that blue paper, white paper, whatever that paper is. But the medical examiner, so they tell them, okay, this seems like this is maybe like medically grade paper kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So kind of the same thought you had. Okay, well, is this a hospital? Is this a med school? Is this a...
But that's again, so
limbs?
random and against the law.
Totally. So the cops start calling up local companies that deal in this kind of stuff.
Okay.
And say, hey...
why don't they just get the DNA from the people and then match them to the human and then figure out if the human's a missing human?
Well, you would need the DNA of a missing person to be able to do that. Like you can't just... Like even if you ran the DNA from an arm or something, unless you have something to match it to,
Right.
It's just... You only have half the puzzle.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's a lot of work. Just be guessing.
Just to be, yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
And they're pretty sure, like, okay, this is something... I don't know. There's something tying this all in with...
Okay.
So they start calling some local companies. Because the medical examiner's like, I don't think this is a serial killer. I think these are medical cadavers or something like that are being dumped out here.
But wouldn't a medical cadaver be preserved? Like, wouldn't it would have a totally different...
So the ones you and I have worked with always are.
Right.
But I don't know in the business of...
Oh.
If,
like a funeral home.
Not a funeral home, but maybe there's other purposes for medically donated bodies that aren't just dissection,
Yeah, but I think you would still need to preserve it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then that would give you a good clue too. Anyway, okay, keep going.
So they call, the first company they call.
This is such a weird question to be asking.
Oh yeah, it was funny because watching the body cam of the cops calling.
They're like, hey.
Some of these sweet little like ladies that are answering the phone, one of them, you could tell the cops already text them. She's like, I'm very confused by the text that I think I got from you guys. And the cop's like, well, we're really confused by the text we sent you. I'm sure she's like, dumping body. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And so first company tells the cops, well, we never separate our limbs off our cadavers. So it can't be us.
Okay.
Great. Second one said, so interesting enough, the medical examiner, as they kept going through these limbs, ended up finding some metal tags on a couple of them. Like they were tagged parts.
That is so weird.
And so the second one was like, oh, we only tag them in the ears. So if you're finding them like on arms and stuff, that's not our company. I'm just like, okay.
This is so inhumane, but
dealing like,
humans. It's like a cow.
Yeah.
Like they tag their ears or whatever so they know that it's their cattle or they brand them. Okay.
And so, but the police eventually with these metal tags, they find a company by the name of Future Gen X. So they're looking around Scottsdale and, Prescott and Phoenix, and they can't find any companies with that name. So they dig a little deeper. It turns out it is a company in Seattle.
Okay.
So we got Seattle arms and legs.
Well, we don't know if they're Seattle arms and legs. We
That's
just
true.
know that the tags
Come from a company
in Seattle. Okay.
But our body parts are ending up in the desert near Prescott, Arizona.
Could you imagine? It's like, what's your job? Oh, I just drive a whole bunch of body parts all the way down to Arizona from Seattle, dump them, and drive back. And I do that every day.
Yeah.
Or that's my whole life.
So funny. I had a professor in undergrad who was a dentist, but he taught our...
Wasn't he a forensic odontologist?
That was in dental school.
Oh.
This was the guy. I can't remember his name. Yeah. Called him Ronald McDonald because he had really red hair.
Oh, yeah.
Hair. He was a cool guy.
Yeah, he was.
But he taught whatever class that I took in undergrad that had to do with cadavers.
I do remember this.
I don't know if it was head-neck anatomy.
Right.
But he was licensed to, have body parts. And so there was one point where he was traveling with a severed head. I don't remember if it was sagittally cut or not. So a sagittally cut head would be like if you cut your head
Right down the middle.
right down the middle, like through your nose,
Vertically.
between your eyes. Yeah. It might have been sagittally cut. But anyways, he spent the night somewhere and he literally like filled the bathtub up with ice to put it in. He's like, I just can't imagine if like the cleaners accidentally came in my room while I was gone.
Oh my gosh. They would have thought he was like, yeah.
There's his head.
Psycho.
In the bathtub. But,
Okay. That's, yeah. I guess you can get licensed to
well, you
carry
have
body
to, 'cause
parts.
It's very legal to.
Well, sure. It's just funny to me that it's like a thing. Like, how do you get licensed to carry
know.
body parts?
I almost bought a human skull though. Remember?
Yeah, but that was like on the black market.
It was above board, above the table.
Was it?
I mean, it was a cash deal, but
Okay.
it was a legally bought skull.
Yeah.
But I was too poor at the time.
For $1 million. It's
I know, it was only a couple $1,000.
insane to me.
I just want to have it in the office. But
Anyway,
it was in a case and everything. But I
in
didn't
your
buy
in
it.
your next life.
I don't have it.
Okay.
That's okay. So they got this company out of Seattle. And they're wondering, how are these Seattle bodies, if that's what's happening, showing up here in Arizona? So the police actually look up, they find the owner of Future Gen X, was a man by the name of Walter Harold Mitchell. And lo and behold, guess where he had an apartment?
In Arizona.
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh, of course.
Scottsdale's a nice place, by the way.
I've never been.
It's real nice.
Yeah. Someday.
So it wasn't so hard for the police to meet up with.
This said.
Walter Harold Mitchell.
I think I'm scared of him.
So they find him, and it's funny. They meet up with him outside, and they speak with him for a few minutes. But after a couple minutes, he's like, "You know what? We're not going to talk about this. You can contact my lawyer." Now, free advice for everybody. That's the way to do it. Never talk to the cops ever in your life if they're trying to question you about stuff. 0 times. Nothing good can come out of it.
Really?
Really.
Okay. I
If you have the right to remain silent, you should definitely use that right.
But I mean, I guess for me, I'm thinking, as soon as you say that, doesn't that mean you're guilty?
Not at all.
No?
No.
I don't know. For me, I kind of feel like if you have nothing to hide or nothing to say, then I don't know. I guess I'm just like, automatically, if you're like,
Now, if it's like, oh, I witnessed an accident, sure, talk to them. But if they're like questioning you, thinking about something that you did,
oh,
definitely do not ever.
okay.
Don't try to talk your way out of it. Don't try to explain. Nope.
Okay.
Never.
Good to know. For all
Not
you
saying cops
listeners.
are bad. Cops are great.
Right. Just that's
There's nothing that's good that's going to come out of it for you.
okay. Interesting.
I even like the lawyers that I watch. Like even you get pulled over, cops like, do you know how fast you're going? Nope. Do you know what the speed limit is? Nope.
Really?
Like, yep. You tell me. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Now, that's definitely not a practice I put into effect when I get pulled over.
No,
I always do tell them. I have no idea how fast I was going, even though I normally do know how fast I was going.
Oh, I usually answer all their questions, and I probably look like I'm about to cry.
That's probably true.
That's probably why I never get a ticket.
Yeah.
I'm never going like crazy fast.
You never get a ticket.
Only in Canada.
Only in Canada. And you are going deadly fast, and you get tickets.
It's not deadly fast at all. Never.
Dude, that one time you got pulled over, that cop, I've never seen such a, he was, I don't even remember how, he was like out on the road, like gunning. You remember that?
I
know
This
it
is
was,
on
so
Cowboy
many
Trail.
times, so.
No, it's on Cowboy Trail, that
Right.
one. Yeah.
And he was like angry.
Yeah, he was angry.
And I was like, oh, this is not going to be a fun confrontation. But then when he came with the car, he was like super nice.
Yeah. He was super nice.
Anyways.
I mean, everyone on Cowboy Trail is going like 30 kilometers over. Everyone.
Which means something.
So,
Somebody.
Okay, keep going. So he says, okay, talk to my lawyer.
Yeah. So they put him under arrest.
Can you arrest someone just on...
If they have probable cause, I mean, yeah. If there's...
Is that considered probable cause? Just the fact that there's these body parts that have tags that go with your company and you have... Like,
Yeah,
you know
I
what I
don't
mean?
know all the
Okay.
specifics. And it would be different jurisdiction to jurisdiction.
Okay. Anyway.
But they put him under arrest. And they get a warrant to search his apartment. And obviously they have enough probable cause because they got the warrant. And this is where it gets interesting. So they go inside, and what they found was not what they were expecting to find.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think they possibly found? And I'll give you a clue. It's not more body parts.
Maybe maps. They found maps.
So what they found were not maps.
I
mean, he might have had a map. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like you said it like it would be something so random.
Well, I knew it is random. And I knew if I just said what they found, the go-to would be like, oh, more body parts. But
Right.
it wasn't that.
Right.
They actually found a pipe bomb.
Pipe bomb?
Yeah. A bomb.
Like a bomb you
Built
put
in a
in a
pipe.
pipe?
Yeah.
Oh. That's
A
so...
pipe bomb's a very common homemade bomb.
So
So they call the bomb squad.
Oh my gosh. This is like...
And the bomb squad comes over, and sure enough, it's a real bomb. And they,
Diffuse
diffuse it.
Huh.
So now they've got a real weird question. Like, so we got the Seattle guy
With
with a bomb.
Yeah. With an
and
air...
his company's got a bunch of body parts out in the desert.
It gets weirder and weirder.
And so they asked themselves, who is the Seattle arms dealer with the bomb in his apartment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get it?
I got it.
Oh,
You're looking at me like, did you get it? I got it. But you missed the legs and the head.
yeah.
So it didn't work.
Yeah.
I get it though.
Thank you. So this is confusing,
You're telling me. I would not have guessed a bomb.
No, me either. But that's what it was.
I was like thinking maps for where he was going to dump his other body parts. I don't know.
That would make way more sense.
Okay.
So he, so what he tells the police is pretty bizarre. His story.
Okay.
So he actually kind of brokers a deal with them.
With the police.
Mm-hmm.
With his lawyer.
Sure. I mean,
Okay.
he's arrested at this point. So
Right.
yeah, this is all not that day.
Okay.
But he ends up telling him a pretty bizarre story. Now, I don't really think I believe his story.
Okay.
Pretty bizarre story.
But you're going to tell me what he says.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Walter was a body broker. He would acquire bodies and sell them to companies that needed bodies.
This is a thing.
It's a thing. I know. Isn't that fascinating? It's a weird job.
So
You never think about that exists. Now, I don't know where you get bodies,
Yeah.
But people who donate themselves to science somehow,
Would have to
he
be
would get
transported
contacted.
somewhere.
Yeah, he would secure those bodies and then sell them to...
So he must be licensed to carry bodies.
Yeah. Then he'd sell them to universities and
Right,
research
right.
companies and whoever else uses bodies
Okay.
for whatever.
Yeah. I was thinking of any college or university
Right.
doing
I don't
an
know.
A&P class.
Sure. And that's the common one. I don't know what other things out there use bodies, but I think there's
Probably
lots more things that we
Yeah.
don't realize.
Sure.
So, but that's what he did. So his company went under in 2020. So I think that's why he had a surplus of capital, bodies.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, why you still couldn't get rid of them, I don't know. Like if your company was going under, why you still couldn't get rid of the ones you had, like sell those off.
Yeah.
But that's not the reason he gave as to why he dumped the bodies. Like the fact that his business went under.
Mm-hmm.
So he did confess that there were a total of 53 body parts out in the desert.
Okay.
5 heads, 48 other parts. But why? Why, Ethney?
Yeah. Why did he put them in the desert? 5 heads. But then you have way more. Huh. Oh, this is confusing. I'm very confused. Okay.
So when the company went under, he wrapped all the parts in dry ice. He rented a U-Haul truck and he drove to Arizona. And then when he got there, he kept them all in a big freezer.
And he just was hoping that he could sell them?
No, we haven't got to the why yet. But this is how he did it. How he got him there.
Ooh, okay.
So I just think, okay, next time I'm driving down the highway and I pass a U-Haul truck, I'll think, I wonder if there's 53 body parts in there.
Yeah, that's definitely not the first thing I would ever think.
I mean, maybe there's a couch, but it also could be body parts.
Yeah, I guess so. How does one unload all of this without a neighbor or somebody not being like, this is the weirdest U-Haul load I've ever seen in my life?
It's a legit question.
And like, what kind of freezer? That's a
big freezer.
That's a lot of freezers.
It's a lot of freezers. It's a big electrical bill.
But why? Still, why?
Why?
Why not just leave them in Seattle?
Why not leave them in Seattle? Why not sell them? So this is what he told the police. It was kind of shocked the police. Walter claimed that being a body broker was a dangerous job. Yep. I think shaking her head like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
He claimed that the industry was not screening blood-borne diseases correctly, and that tissues were being sent all over the world with potential diseases. Now, I find this very hard to believe. One, most blood-borne pathogens die pretty dang fast.
In the host. Yeah, once the host is.
Yeah. But I also can't believe there's not like insane regulations about.
Right.
I mean, there's insane regulations to like, build a shop in your backyard.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
So because of this, he said that he had unsuccessfully been, he had been trying to be an industry whistleblower unsuccessfully since 2002 to try to get protocols and standards changed.
For the distribution of body parts.
Yes.
Okay.
But no one would listen to him, Ethney. Dang it. No one would listen.
Okay.
So
this guy sounds a little cuckoo.
He said, if I wanted to hide these body parts, I would have buried them on my own property where no one ever would have found them. But I wanted them to be found. So I wanted a voice in the industry.
How does that give you a voice?
Because now it's big national headlines.
Oh, that's right. Okay. This guy.
So that's why he threw them out in the desert and barely left them hidden so that he would be found.
This is what he's claiming.
Yeah.
This is what his lawyer is telling, like cooking up.
Yeah, I don't know. So the cops were like, I don't really care, dude.
This is hilarious.
It's still illegal. So in total, the body parts came from 9 different people.
Okay. So is he getting a whole body and he just is the one cutting them up and dispersing of them?
If he buys parts or wholesale or,
Okay.
Not sure.
Okay.
It's a good question. I'm not privy to this.
You should be.
I've been in this industry, but only on the using of the product.
Yeah, not the obtaining of the product.
Not the selling.
Yes.
Or obtaining.
Interesting.
So he claims he wanted to do something good for the industry as he left. Now, to me, I think you could have just sold it all and then golf the rest of your life. But hey, good for you.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things that still don't make sense. For one, why do you have an active bomb in your apartment?
True. Why did you disperse of them 50 miles apart? What?
Yeah, that's true too.
That's weird. That's a lot of effort.
It's a lot of effort. If you want to be found, just make them found then.
Yeah.
Maybe he could argue he was increasing the chance they'd be found. But again, if you want to have them found, just dump them wherever.
Yeah.
You can put them in the middle of the road. They're going to get found.
Yeah, 100%. They're going to also freak people out.
So, driving out in the middle of nowhere, it kind of sounds like you're trying to hide them. Kind of hoping coyotes are going to eat those before someone else sees them.
Yeah, totally.
In my opinion. But what do I know?
What do you know?
So that was weird. That's a good point. I think the pipe bomb's weird.
Oh, 100%.
I found there might be a couple screws loose.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Interesting enough, almost all of the body parts were female.
Okay.
Which is just, mathematically, you would think it'd be 50-50.
Yeah, you would think so.
That's how.
About-ish.
Yeah, that's how gender breaks down.
4 to 5 or whatever. Pretty even, though, I would guess. So that is also another bizarre thing.
So you're a weird creepo who has bombs who only deals mostly in dead females? Looks a little suspicious. Lastly, the thing that was most intriguing, Walter had written a book.
Oh. Published?
Probably self-published.
Okay.
But I don't know. A fictional novel called Serial Killer.
Are you serious right now?
Yes, I am. All about a serial killer who knew how to properly use the system to get rid of bodies.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting, huh?
It's like an autobiography.
Yeah. It's like, that's it's fascinating.
Okay, but what's the bomb part all about?
I don't know.
Wait, you're not going to tell me any answers?
Well, he went to jail.
Yeah, but I mean, do you have the answers? Did he ever confess to like?
No, I never talked about the bomb. I mean, it's not like super uncommon to have a bomb just in case you need one.
Yeah, that is super uncommon, Mike.
I think a lot of people have bombs in their living rooms.
Yes.
You just never know when you're going to need
a pipe bomb.
A pipe bomb.
Yes. Or a Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have a pipe bomb and like a U-Haul full of fertilizer, then you're good.
Yeah. Okay. I still feel like you're leaving me hanging here. So I want more information.
I don't have anything else really. He was convicted on 29 counts of hiding or concealing a body. But he was nicely given concurrent sentences, meaning they run at the same time. Not like you have to wait till one ends to start the next one. So he's only serving a little over 6 years prison time, which is fabulous if you actually are a serial killer.
I feel like you're siding on the wrong side of the person, but so he wasn't ever actually convicted of murder.
No. Just dumping body parts.
But he wrote a book.
A detailed book.
And the book doesn't like incriminate him?
No.
Your thing's gonna fall if you let go.
I'm holding it.
Oh, okay. So that's it. I mean, that's literally all you're gonna tell me?
Yeah, she should be out next year.
I'm bugged.
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean,
you should write him a letter in prison.
That's the end of the story.
Yeah. Time for bed.
So he said that he wanted the publicity because there's blood-borne illness in all the body parts that are being distributed for science or whatever it is.
Yeah, bad testing. She's doing something very honorable here.
And then also there were a lot of females. But were they like females of missing people? Like, did they ever figure that part out? Like,
no, I don't think so. I think they were legit. Because I mean, the cops obviously wanted to find out who these people were so they could get them buried properly or back to wherever.
And so, were they actually people that had, been diagnosed dead and then were
to the best of my
also,
knowledge, yes,
like donated?
Yeah, they weren't like a bunch of prostitutes that were missing or
right. Okay, so
that's where most serial killer stories end up.
So right, so maybe he really wasn't a serial killer?
Maybe not.
Okay, in your opinion, based on what you saw, do you think he is?
No. I don't think he's smart enough.
Okay. So you think he really is what he said he is? A guy who...
Yeah, if I had to put some money on it.
Had a business in dealing with
I think he's
dead
a guy
body parts that then his business was going out, but he really believed there was like bloodborne illnesses in the body parts going out to all these different people.
No, I don't believe that. I believe he was a guy whose legitimate business went under, and he was like, I gotta ditch all these body parts out in the desert, and I hope the coyotes eat them before someone finds them. And then when he got caught, he's like, oh yeah, I'm trying to be a saint about this. Like, I'm trying to be something honorable. Oh, and I have a bomb in my apartment.
Yeah, there's so many things that don't add up. I just, like, for example, if I'm a business and I'm going out, but like the main people that I sell to, I'm like, hey, I mean, I know we're not really in the business and I'm kind of whatever. Can I just like donate these bodies parts to you guys? Because you guys have been good customers of mine.
Right. I wonder if he was more of like a. I'd like to know when his company started. Like, did it start in 2018? And he was really bad at it, and he had no,
maybe,
business connections, and that's why it went under.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Crap, what am I going to do with all these things? I've invested all of my money into dead bodies,
and I can't sell them,
and I hate my life."
Yeah.
I don't know.
But even then, did he bring them to Arizona hoping he would be able to sell them, and then realized I can't sell them? Now I have to just dispose of them?
I think he planned on disposing it from the get-go.
But then, again, you're not going to make any money off of, so renting the U-Haul, all the ice, the freezers, the everything, why not just dispose of them in Seattle? Literally freaking throw them in the ocean. I mean, the ocean will eat them up way faster than anywhere.
Yeah. Here's... If I were going to dispose of arms and legs...
and heads, a few heads.
I think I'd take my company's tags off of them.
Whoa.
Prior to dumping them in wherever I dump them. In case it washed up on shore or a hunter found it. But then maybe that leaves some credence that he did want to be found.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that's pretty stupid.
I feel like you could be found by calling a news reporter and saying, "Hey, I know firsthand that these body parts are being distributed without much regulation.
You know what you should have done?
Here's why, and here's all my evidence."
You should have dumped all the body parts on the news front door.
Yeah.
That would have got their attention.
I don't know. This whole thing is bugging me. I feel like it's unfinished business.
Well, I'll do some more research, Ethney, and I'll see what I can. I'm going to write him a letter. I'm going to ask him.
Maybe you should write some other people a letter.
I'm going to buy you this book.
I do not want the book.
I want you to read the book.
Nope.
Maybe it has some clues in there.
No book. I'm going to look the book up in
Serial
my...
Killer by Walter Harold Mitchell. See if it's on Amazon right now. Maybe there's an audiobook. You could listen to it. Maybe he reads it. I hire a professional to read my book.
I'm disturbed.
Mr. Cheesy Pop. That's not a professional reader name. I don't know what is. Nothing better than silent airtime on a podcast.
I'm still trying to look this up.
And I was drinking some water.
What's the name?
Serial Killer.
Yeah, I already looked that up.
Walter Harold Mitchell.
Walter?
The first.
Harold.
I don't know if he's actually the first.
Mitchell. Well, he's definitely not on...
It's not that good of a book, huh?
He's definitely not in the, library.
Well, yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Maybe the prison library.
So, I'm just saying, he is not in the library, so he's not...
Spokane County Library doesn't got you, then you are not somebody.
It's true.
I don't think they have my book either, so.
Right? Yeah. I don't think it even...
This is the first time we filmed this year
self-published.
that it's really hot in this room.
Well, it's going to get hotter, unfortunately, because it is what it is.
Yeah,
which
that's
is okay.
how the seasons work. Alrighty, you ready to get out of here?
I am.
Okay. Well, everybody, please text us. Let us know your thoughts on good old Walt and what his motivations were.
Yeah. I think there's more to this story for sure. I'm feeling unsettled. So I'm going to figure it out.
You figure it out.
I'm going to do some research on my own.
We'll ask you about it next time.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, everyone. Have a wonderful couple of weeks, and we will be back with another riveting tale of strangeness.
The pickle, whatever they were, sisters? The pickle
The Pickle Sisters.
Pickle Sisters?
I don't know if that was their names.
I don't either.
But they dress like pickles.
Yeah.
It won't be about them.
Oh, darn. Sounds intriguing.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you next time.
See you
Bye.
later.